Welcome back to News at 10. Today we are talking about how schools are handling increased diversity and technology in the classroom. With us today, we have a member of the management team of CIP de Prácticas María Maroto, a school that offers infant and primary education in Murcia, Spain. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jocelyn Mitchell. My center, as well as many others, is facing the challenge of responding well to the growing diversity of our student population and the incorporation of screens and digital technology into the school's curriculum. Our management team has created a development plan that will address these issues. We use an AI tool to aid the development of our plan, which we can briefly look at now. To give everyone a quick summary of our plan, I will be sharing 5 of our most essential measures that we will implement. The first measure is a family diversity and inclusion program. This seeks to connect and strengthen the relationship between the community and the school. We will frequently host events that emphasize the different cultures represented in the community. One of these events will be an International Family Day, where we will have activities that highlight different family structures and cultures, promoting inclusion. We will offer translation support in school emails, meetings, and notes to home, and have a PTA, Parent Teacher Association, with a diverse representation of the community. This measure is supported by Organic Law 3/2020. In the Disposición Final Primera, it asserts the rights that parents and guardians have in relation to the education of their children. These measures affect parents, guardians, the administration, students, teachers, tutors, and support staff. This measure strengthens the relationship between parents and teachers, the school and community, and even student to student relationships. It helps us build a school culture that truly reflects who we are. The second measure we are taking is setting up clear guidelines for screen time in our school and establishing a digital literacy curriculum. The guidelines will be established to address how technology will be used in the classroom and teach students how to responsibly use digital tools. To teach digital literacy, we will have assemblies teaching students about online safety, online bullying and its impact, and how to use technology to learn and create. There will be rules on the average daily and weekly screen time per student. To reach families, workshops will be set up to discuss screen use and habits. This measure is supported by the digital education strategy known as Libre, Decree 359 2009, and Decree 3184 2022. The actors affected are teachers, IT staff, support staff, parents and guardians, the school board, and school administration. The relationships impacted are a strengthened student teacher relationship, more respectful student student relationship, improved teacher family relationship, and strengthened administration teacher relationship. The third measure we have decided to implement is differentiated learning support. In other words, ensuring that we are supporting students with special needs and using technology purposefully to support the diverse learning needs of our students. A huge part of this measure is making sure all staff members are aware of each student's IEP, or individualized education plans. We are also going to provide training for all our teachers in inclusive teaching practices. Along with this, we are enacting continued professional development courses to ensure teachers are up to date on current technology. These are all necessary steps as the diversity of our school increases and digital tools are used more often. The current legislation that supports this measure is Decree 3184 2022, Sistema de Enseñanza Digital en el Aula, known as SENDA, Decree 359 2009, and Plan Estratégico de Digitalización Educativa 2025. People impacted by this measure are students, teachers, special education staff, school counselors, psychologists, administration, curriculum coordinators, the school board, and families. The relationships affected by this measure are a more supportive teacher student relationship, better teacher support staff relationship, positive school parent partnership, stronger school specialist partnership, and a strengthened school community partners relationship. The fourth measure we are taking is executing a digital well being and emotional intelligence curriculum. We are applying this curriculum to our school to ensure that students learn social emotional intelligence in the digital space. This curriculum is twofold, with the first part characterized by digital citizenship lessons, and the second part by the implementation of social emotional learning with digital literacy. So many interactions kids have in the present day are online, making the safe use of technology a topic that needs to be taught in schools. The legislation that supports this measure is Decree 3184/2022, Sistema de Enseñanza Digital en el Aula, known as SENDA. Actors affected by the curriculum include teachers, school counselors, school administrators, students, and special education staff. Relationships affected by this measure are a more supportive teacher student relationship, a more respectful student student relationship, improved teacher parent partnership, collaborative teacher counselor relationship, and a more aligned school and educational authorities relationship. The last measure our school is taking is establishing family digital workshops. As immigration rises in Spain, the need for inclusion is a focus of our center. Many families don't understand how to operate the technology our students use or function the educational apps that we utilize. For this reason, our center is setting up a family digital workshop. Once a month, our school will host a workshop for parents to come and learn about using their students' technology and educational apps at home. We will have special sessions hosted in different languages, one in Arabic due to the large population of Moroccans in our community, and one in English to ensure families with foreign parents have access to the same resources. Current legislation that supports this is Decree 359/2009. The actors impacted are parents and guardians, children, teachers, the school, and community organizations and libraries, where the workshops could be hosted. Relationships affected are strengthened parent child relationship, better parent teacher relationship, stronger family school relationship, and more connected family community relationship. This measure supports diverse student needs and promotes community engagement and family participation. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Now we are going to talk with the principal of CEIP de Prácticas Maria Maroto. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for having me. I have established 5 main components that aim to improve how our school community receives information about our digital transformation. The first component is to send emails and host workshops in multiple languages. This aims to increase communication with minority families. This reflects the relationship between the school and minority families, the administration and the community, minority parents and teachers, and students from minority backgrounds and the school culture. My leadership style is transformational. This component reflects individualized consideration, one of the 4 core principles established by Bernard A. Bass in 1985. The second component is to establish a communications team, a team that will design and communicate messages about the digital changes and goals to the community. Key relationship dynamics include administration and teachers, administration and IT staff, administration and parents, students and school leadership, IT department and the general community, and teachers and parents. This component embodies the core principles of inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. The third component is to establish a structured communication system. This is characterized by sending out weekly newsletters, emails, posters, and establishing a website. These tools will be managed by the communications team. Key relationships include school administration and parents, teachers and students, IT department and families, teachers and parents, parents and students, administration and IT, and the school and general community. The core principles of my leadership style addressed by this component are intellectual stimulation, individualized consideration, and idealized influence. The fourth component is to set up a monthly conference with the format of a town hall meeting. Parents and families will have the ability to give the administration feedback and ask questions. It will be led by members of the administration, the PTA leader, and head of the school's IT department. Updates, proposed changes, and important information will be discussed. The main relationship dynamics include administration and parents, PTA leader and school leadership, IT department and community, school and families, and parents and parents. All 4 core principles of a transformational leader are apparent: inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, individualized consideration, and idealized influence. The fifth component is the creation and maintenance of a digital transformation timeline. The timeline will be consistently up to date and will outline upcoming changes, current goals, and explanation of initiatives. It will be easily accessible to the community. Key relationships reflected in this component are school leadership and parents, communication team and general community, administration and IT department, parents and students, and lastly, the school and minority families. The core principles of my leadership style represented are inspirational motivation and idealized influence. Now we are going to talk to a teacher at CEIP de Prácticas Maria Maroto, who will explain what elements of the diversity care plan are the most critical when there are students with special needs related to intellectual disabilities. Thank you so much for having me. The most critical elements of a diversity care plan for these types of students are individualized learning goals, personalized instruction, and social inclusion. Learning goals should be established for students and vary depending on their abilities and speed of learning. The individualized goals should be based on the student's IEP, Individualized Education Plan. Like the goals, instruction should be personalized. For example, if a student has autism with an intellectual disability, the teacher should break instructions into smaller parts, use visual aids, and try to keep routines as structured and constant as possible. In regard to social inclusion, it is important to note that students with intellectual disabilities should not be excluded from group activities, but rather activities should be adapted and adjusted for them and aim to ensure inclusiveness and encourage collaboration between classmates. Social inclusion is important for all young children, but especially ones with intellectual disabilities. They want to feel like they are a part of the class and the same as everyone else, making it crucial for teachers to ensure that these students are included in group and partner work. We prepared a learning activity to share with you guys to demonstrate teaching strategies and resources for effective inclusive teaching. The activity is an All About Me poster presentation. It is perfect for the beginning of the school year. It works on improving creativity, allows the students to get to know each other, and builds communication and presentation skills. For the project, each student will have personalized objectives based on their abilities. A student with Down syndrome and limited verbal skills, for example, will have the goal of using symbols and pictures to represent their likes, dislikes, and interests on a poster. Another student, such as the one with ASD mentioned previously, will be given the goal of writing 2 to 3 sentences about themselves with the help of either the teacher or a teacher's aide. While for the majority of the class who do not have intellectual disabilities, their goal will be to create a collage that represents themselves with words and pictures and then present their project to the whole class. If the students with intellectual disabilities are able, they will also have the opportunity to present their projects to the class. If needed, they can present to a small group of their classmates instead of the whole group. When explaining the project to the whole group of students, I will use visual aids and use simple, clear language. After the instructions, either me or a member of the support staff will pull aside a small group of students with special needs and help them articulate and write down their ideas. A few resources I will utilize are pre-made templates for the posters with symbols and papers with sentence starters and word banks. Towards the end of the project work time, I will instruct the class to turn to their desk partner and explain what they worked on and what they still need to work on. This aims to include every member of the class and build partnerships. Thanks for tuning in to News at 10. I deserve a 9. I worked on this project extensively and put a lot of effort into it. I reviewed the course material to answer the questions and applied it to the scenario given, making me more knowledgeable about the material and how to use it in my future as an educator. Many hours were spent on this project in gathering information, making connections, planning the video, and editing. My knowledge of these topics exceed what was shown in this video, but due to time restrictions, there was a lot of material I could not include. The most crucial idea I have learned is how the organization of schools and classrooms impacts relationships and experiences, which in return impacts academic achievement. The way I decide to group students in my classroom has an extraordinary impact. Whether I decide to group by mixed ability, homogeneous ability, incorporate cluster grouping, or age grouping, the effectiveness for my class will vary. The process of creating school schedules. The complexity involved in the creation of a seemingly simple school schedule is huge. I never explored the different types of schedules possible due to my comfort level with the traditional schedule style. The most crucial idea about attention to diversity I learned was the difference between integration, segregation, exclusion, and inclusion when interacting with students with disabilities. I was able to learn about times in history when these categories were used and the benefits of inclusion. Moreover, I learned deeper ideas about teaching to students with special needs, from high intellectual abilities to autism spectrum disorder. Yes, I'm not only more aware of the importance of paying attention to diversity, but I'm also more knowledgeable about teaching strategies, details about certain disabilities such as ASD, and the history of diversity. These factors have shown me the importance of inclusivity and its impact on students. I was able to do a deeper dive into the materials discussed in both school organization and diversity. I learned more about current legislation in the region of Murcia, how to create concrete development ideas to address the increase in diversity in a community, how to build trust with families and the community when using technology and making changes, and how to implement better communication with the community. I learned how to make changes to address a challenge faced by real schools around the world. Thank you for watching my school organization and student diversity final for the spring 2025 school year.